Again, having this means a lot to me, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm just waiting on the notification. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an amazing guest with us, one who I'm very humbled and honored that would take time out of his busy schedule to come give us some information as well as some inspiration. And that is our brother student captain, Brother Fredric Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam, sir.
How are you doing today?
Man, we thank Allah for life. All praises due to Allah, man.
Yes,
Praise
sir. Yes, sir. Well, first of all, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Well, you have known me and my siblings since we were young. You watched us grow up, and I have had the honor of meeting you when I've come in throughout your region and things with my father. But when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, sir?
When I first heard the teachings, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. When I first heard the teachings, it was in 1975 in Brooklyn. I was just 14 years old, and I heard the teachings first from the 5% brothers, and they, you know how they be teaching in a circle.
Yes, sir.
And my mother had two brothers that was already in the Nation of Islam. Brother Uncle Charles, he called by Uncle Charles 13X. That's his name, from Philadelphia. And Brother Andrew Lee, he changed his name. Uh, they was already in the nation, but I didn't really know too much about that at the age of 12 when I met my uncles and stuff. But in 1975, I was listening to some brothers speaking. You know how the gods is. They were speaking and they was in this circle, and I was listening to him, and brother was doing like this and speaking. And he said, the black man is God. And then that shocked me. I said, the black man is God. That really shocked me. I was looking at his finesse, and you know how New York is. And then I asked him a question. I said, if the black man is God, can you walk through the wall? Just hypothetical question. And he said, can a solid go through a solid? You know how the gods is.
Yes,
And
sir.
he
Yes, sir.
broke it down like that. And I was like, man. And that's when I first heard the teachings. And then in high school, in James Madison High School, brother asked, he said, do you want to get the knowledge of yourself? And I say, yes, I want to get knowledge of self. And that's when I started my role in the Nation of Islam.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And how did since your family already had some exposure to the nation and was a part of it, how did they feel about you once you accepted the teachings?
Well, I didn't have an opportunity to really talk to Uncle Charles, but Andrew Lee, at the time when the nation had, when Warren Dean, took over, I think that's the route he went. And then at that time in 1984, when I got out of prison, I already knew about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in New York. I already used to get his albums. And I used to say, this man, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, boy, he can talk. Because back in the days, the minister, they used to have that album, Randall's album, Randall Allen, I think, when he talked
Yes,
on
sir.
it was an album. And everywhere you go in New York, if anybody know about DJing back in the 70s, they would play his verses over music.
Mm.
And I had to, they was talking about, you got to get this album. So I had got the album. I think I got it from Pickett Avenue Record Shop, I believe. I don't know how. I can't remember how I got it. And I used to hear him speak. So I said, this guy is hot, man. I like him. But my uncle, when I went to visit him, I didn't know nothing. I used to see this strange picture on the wall. And I was like, man, who is this? And then we was trying to eat, and they said, you gotta wait. All of y'all, we gotta eat together. And I was like, man. So I didn't know nothing with Uncle Charles, but Andrew Lee when I got into the nation in 1984, then I called him, and we used to debate a lot. So that relationship with my mother brother, he would say something. I ain't gonna get into it. He say something. I said, "No, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan," and we'd just be going at it. But uncle and nephew. So that's the relationship I had with Andrew Lee, man. I forgot his Muslim name, but praise be to Allah.
Excellent. Yes, sir. And when you came in New York, oh no, can we go back to prison? What was that like?
Man, brother. Uh, this story here. I left New York in 1980, and I went to Miami, Florida, and stayed in a place called Coconut Grove in Miami, Florida, and I started teaching some students. I had some students that I was teaching. This was in 1980, almost
Mm,
going into 81. It was 81. It was 1981. I don't know who it was, but some Muslim brothers of the FOI, they heard someone teaching the teachings in Coconut Grove,
yes,
and
sir.
they came to me and they say, "Brother," he said, "Man, Minister Farrakhan is bringing, he's rising the nation." So I said, you know how sometimes the 5% of brothers, man, we could be real arrogant, like we know something all the time.
Yes, sir.
So I
Yes,
was
sir.
like, "Nah, man, he said, "Man, come on, man, you got to join the minister, man." I said, "Nah, man, I'm gonna teach in the street." You know what I'm saying? I was just real street,
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn.
Yes, sir.
He said, "Listen, man, if you don't help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan," he said, "something bad gonna happen to you, man. You very valuable."
Mm,
Next thing you know, man, I got 8 years, man, in prison.
mm,
And I said, "Wow, man." I used to think about, sometimes I think, damn, was this a dream? So when I was in prison, I don't, I just got to tell the truth. When I was in prison, it was a Muslim guy named, I think his name was, he was Imam Shabazz, and they was teaching,
mm.
Warren Dean, and teaching the Quran, but I had the teachings, and I would teach the lessons of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Uh, they came to me and they were saying to me, they said, "Brother, the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a false teaching." And I said, "What?" I said, "No way." And then we would go back and forth. But I
Yes, sir.
respected the Imam. And then they said some negative things. I ain't gotta go through. They said some negative things about the minister, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. They
Yes, sir.
said some negative things about Master Farad Muhammad and stuff like that. And they said you can't teach that teachings unless you teach from the Quran. So he gave me a Quran. Matter of fact, I got the Quran right here. I'm gonna show you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He gave me this Quran. I kept it. I kept it since 1981. It's a old Quran. You have to start from the back. And he said you got to teach from the Quran. So I took all the Honorable Elijah Muhammad lessons and found it in the Quran. And
Praise
I
be to
came
Allah.
back and I said, "Look, man, I got it." And he said, "Man, you can't teach this in here." So that experience right there allowed me to really believe that the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was correct. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes, sir.
but I kept this Quran to remember the Imam, and you know, but the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is in my blood, man. You
Praise be
know?
to Allah. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, wonderful. And thank everybody for watching the People's Podcast. And Brother Garthian says, ASA family, my brother Frederick, brother Earl says, yes, sir, brother Michael Muhammad. Okay, wonderful. Well, once you got out of prison, then what were your next steps, sir?
Well, when I got out of prison, this is a unique story. When I got out of prison, it was in 1984, and I was living in Miami, Florida. I went to prison in Miami, Florida.
Yes, sir.
So I know you're familiar with Abdul Biar Muhammad,
Correct.
right. And Abdul B.I. Muhammad is a great pioneer,
Yes, sir.
much loved by the minister, your father, everybody. But it was a pool, it was a store. It was a store. This was in 1984. This changed my whole life. It was a store that we used to go and shoot pool, right? And it was a guy named Musing. His name was Musing Muhammad. And Minister I used to see Minister Bi in the store working, but I always thought he was Puerto Rican because he looked Puerto Rican.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, look at that. This is a Puerto Rican guy. He working in the store. This is me. And Musing, I don't even want my wife to hear this, but anyway, Musing had a bunch of daughters and they was gorgeous, man. And one of them I was gonna get. I'm going to get this one. So I used to, I used to go to the store and shoot pool with Musing all the time. I mean, every day. I'm talking about for weeks. And then to one day, I seen two brothers, and one of the brothers is brother with you, brother Barry,
Mm, mm.
Big Barry. I seen
Yes,
two
sir.
brothers that came into the store. And I looked and they had a suit and bow tie. I said, Assalamu alaikum. They said, well, alaikum salam. I said, well, the FOI, where the FOI at? He said, yeah, man, we came up to the store to get some flyers. I said, what? He said, yeah, this weekend, the minister is speaking at the Joseph Caleb Center.
Mm,
I
mm.
said, the minister is speaking at the Joseph Keller Center. I said, man, I live a block and a half away. And I said, I'm going. So that day, I'm going to tell you the truth. I went and got me a bag of weed and I was smoking. I said, man, I'm going to go hear the minister. And then I went there. I had it in my pocket. So the brother was like, take everything out your pocket. We don't allow
Yes,
no
sir.
guns, no drugs. I said, oh man, I got to go back to the house and put this in. So I went back to the house and put my weed up and came back. And I was almost the last few that made it in. And then I heard the minister, I was in there. Even my cousins was in there. My cousin Robin and her husband was there. So I'm sitting down and I see the minister come on. And I'm looking, and I seen some brother, man, standing by the minister. This was in 1984. All I seen was him standing up there on post with a big mustache, and Minister Bi was there. And I was like, damn, boy, them boys on post, man. Them boys is hard, man. And I'm looking at the minister, and the minister spoke. When the minister spoke, man, brother, I don't know. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped messing with cocaine. I just stopped. I ain't know what to do, man. I was shocked when he spoke. That was the message that changed my life in 1984 when the minister spoke at the Joseph Keller Center. And I've been trying to find that tape forever. That would change my life right there. When he did that, I said, this is where I gotta be. This is the man that I gotta be. All that, the gods and everything. This is it, man. All the connection that you know. So that's how in 1984 when I got and I got registered and everything. I ain't gonna tell you that whole story. That's something, boy, you just don't know. But I got in the mods, and Brother Jarvis was my first captain, and Brother Minister, Student Minister Abdul B.R. Muhammad was the minister.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent, sir. And
Right.
thank you all for watching. My sister Miriam says, Assalamu alaikum. When you say cocaine, addiction is something that has been real in our community for quite some time, but especially in 2020 is still very relevant with the younger generation, all generations, but especially with the youth. What advice would you give to people trying to beat addiction?
Man, that thing is hard because I never was addicted, but I always see people and I deal with people in addiction. Man, I tell you, man, I really believe you have to you have to have a spiritual connection with God to get off of that, man. You know, that right there is destroying our family, our youth. It's not even cocaine now, it's pills and X and all this stuff. And it's in the music, and everybody think it's cool, but some people can't handle it. So like the best thing I can do is say, and I always listen to Dr. Wesley and all the teaching, is that you got to have a spiritual connection, man. Because what happened to me, I used to, I wasn't a heavy, weed was it. I'm gonna smoke me some weed, and cocaine, I might sniffed a little bit, and I might took a Quaalude or now. Then I tried everything, but I wasn't addicted. But when I heard the minister that one time, I stopped, man.
Mm, mm.
I don't know what it, I stopped because, your spiritual connection, I stopped, man. My cousin didn't believe me, man. You trying to hold back. I said, man, I stopped, bro. I'm getting myself together. So it's got to have I believe that you have to have a spiritual connection to get off them drugs.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And I didn't know that Brother Barry had been in the nation for so long. I didn't know he was back in the, in the 80s. I didn't know that.
Man, Brother Barry was with the minister before I was, but I probably started in '75. But Brother Barry was a good basketball star. He could have been a good NBA player if he stayed with it. But yeah,
See,
Brother Barry, man.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm glad you're saying this, Brother Captain, because I never knew that. So I would see Brother Barry tell his stories of basketball and make finger, but I didn't know how serious it was until you just told me that.
brother. He was a star in Hollandale, Florida. That's
Yes,
where
sir.
he's from. If you don't mind me saying, Hollandale, he was the man, but Islam made him even better. But Brother Barry, we had some times together. Brother Barry was he been in there a long time, man.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Um, I saw a picture on your Facebook of you with the minister. It seemed like back in the 80s. What was the circumstances and how did that come about?
Man, and this how I kind of met these are times when I met your father and stuff, man. It's beautiful. But back uh student minister B, uh he made me a captain uh way back. He sent me to Atlanta to go to captain. He called it captain school. And the regional minister, my from this California, brother, not Tony Muhammad, but his name. God is I got to get good with the holy names, but
Yes, sir. Okay.
right, he was the first officer with Brother Sadiq. May Allah be pleased with him. He
Mm,
was the
mm,
regional captain at the time. Dr. Khalid was the region. Well, he was the minister there in Atlanta. They
mm.
sent me to school for a whole week, and Brother Tony trained me. Brother, the student regional minister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he trained me for a whole week. Him, Dr. Khalid, and I think it was Brother David. He was the local captain. So he trained, and Master Musa was there as well. So
Mm.
they trained me. So I got back and I became the captain. And at that time, the minister came to Miami. The minister visited Miami, and I was on post. That was the first boy, that experience right there. I was on post with the minister. The minister was greeting the believers, and had the opportunity to be on post with the minister. And I secured the minister in a couple of places. Boy, that was the experience. But that right there, man, brother Ray, I believe, man, I don't know where he at, but he took the picture, and the minister was greeting sister. I think that sister in the picture is Brother Michael Muhammad's wife now, but that's how I was on post, man. I was feeling like I was feeling like one of the soldiers, man. When I'm on post with the minister, man.
Yes, sir.
Praise
Yes, sir.
be to Allah, bro.
Yes, sir. And speaking of being on post with the minister, did you in Jacksonville as a captain, hearing the stories of Minister Bi and what was done to him, did you ever face fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
You know what? I never, I never had fear, man, and I believe that was growing up in New York. Uh, Back in New York, you kind of grow up a little fast in New York. I'm born in 1961, And by 60, 68, I was in the streets, man. And 70, 72, they had so many gangs in New York, man, tomahawks and all of them. And, I even tried to get in one. And, the streets of New York had me with no fear. So I didn't, I ain't had no fear, man. I mean, that's the way I grew up, man. Brooklyn in the house. Woo, you know, hey, I'm from Brooklyn, man, and I done seen it all. Now I might get my butt whipped, but I fight. Man, look, you know what I'm saying? If one person I don't want to go against is Grandmaster. I ain't going against him or none of the brothers. Don't go against them brothers in the nation. But man, I had no fear. So with the minister, one day I can't even tell you this story, man. But you know, the minister, man, when I heard him, man, he gave me reinsurance with fear. I ain't feel nothing, man. Especially listening to brother our student supreme captain and all the captains, brother Dennis, all the regional captains, brothers. Listening to them, when I came in, it was just with the streets and then with the brothers, fear. You know what I'm saying? I had no fear, man. And so that's it, man. That's the question.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Yes, sir. And when did you go from seeing the Most Unmissable Farrakhan um, as maybe a good speaker or an activist to someone who was in fact divinely guided?
You know what? When I when I became when I became a laborer, um, but I'm gonna tell you this story because I'm gonna tell you this story here. And this was the first time I ever had a conversation with the minister, just this time until the time I got a chance to meet him and greet him. One day I had a problem. I ain't gonna, I just had a problem. You know how we have problems with laborers and believers and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
So I had a problem and I felt I was right. I felt I was right. You know how when, you know, we have, man, we just, man, I just got it. So at that time, this was in the 80s. I believe it was the 80s or the early 90s. It was in the 90s because my son was born. I had the opportunity to call the minister. I had his number. I was able to get the number and I called the minister, you know, and as I called the minister, uh, uh, it was um, it was 5 o'clock in the morning, right after prayer. I said, I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna call the minister. So I called the minister. He answered the phone. Oh Lord, he answered the phone. I said, Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, and I told him who I was, and I told him my problem, and he listened to my problem, right? And let me tell you how the minister, man, the ministers, man, let me tell you. So the minister listened to my problem. Get it. The minister listened to my problem, and then he told me, he said, brother, um, he said, you don't know how many people in my time that I might have turned or made bad in the nation. And he said that he been always saying this, and you heard him say, he said, this is not my nation, this is Allah's nation. And hold on one second, can you tell him to give it to you? Whatever. So he said, this is Allah's nation, this is not my nation. And he said, if you have a problem with a laborer or anybody, a brother, he said, if you sincere, you seek refuge in Allah and pray to him, and Allah will answer your prayers. And I said, and then he said, and then he explained the things that he went through in the nation. And I was like, man, seek refuge in Allah and pray, man. I'm trying to get at this thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then he said, and then he been saying this to us all the time. So he jammed me. He said, brother, he beat me up real nice. He said, brother, he said, the next time you want to call me, please call me at a normal hour.
Yes, sir.
And then he mentioned something. He said, sometimes I answer your questions through different speak and labors meetings. So I knew right then he was divinely guided. And ever since that happened to me, I never had a problem, or if I ever had a problem with a labor or whatever, I knew how to deal with it. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan taught me how to be a laborer, and he taught me how to be a believer, because a laborer and a believer is the same thing. When you're a believer, you're a laborer. When you're a laborer, you're a believer. So if you listen to him, especially in them believers meetings and stuff, he will answer all of your questions all the time. And if you got a problem with a brother, or he has the answer. That's how I know he's divinely guided. And I never had to go to him ever again with a problem. I always listen to him and seek refuge in Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
And I
Yes,
would
sir.
never call him like that again. Thank you. Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
What? How long have you been serving as the captain?
Well, when I first became the captain in Miami, I was a captain in Miami for quite some time. And then I
Mm,
came to Jacksonville. That's when the boy, when it really hit the fan, that's when I got hooked up with your father, man. Woo, boy, that's when we was in the southern region. Brother Curtis took over after that big show that we had on and when they first built their first stadium there, when the minister spoke at the Georgia Dome, man.
yes,
That
sir.
was one of the biggest uh, events ever. Brother Curtis, our former student regional captain, he became the captain, but it was Brother Sadiq and Brother Van Muhammad allowed me to be another captain here in Jacksonville. They gave me the opportunity to be a captain. Now I didn't want to be a captain. After I left Miami, I didn't want to be no captain. I just wanted to be a soldier.
Yes, sir.
But when I got to Jacksonville, oh man, the great brother Eddie Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him. He passed away. He was our student minister at the time. Uh, when I came here, the brothers, I came from Miami, and Miami, we was rolling hard, man. With may Allah, we was just rolling hard. I had Brother Anthony. Allah blessed me to bring Brother Anthony in. He became the first seventh regional captain.
Mm,
You
mm.
know, when we got here, the brothers brothers had a lot of money for the Final Call newspapers, and they wasn't getting no papers. And I said, man, you ain't getting no final calls. What kind of, brother? It was brother Eric. I said, brother, he was the captain. I said, you ain't getting no final call. I said, brother, you gotta, man, you gotta get final calls. They said, man, we had older balance. And that's the first time I got a chance to meet brother Melvin Muhammad. He was the county executive at that time. And
Mm,
I said,
mm.
what y'all owe, man? They said they owe like $2,500. I said, I'm gonna show you how to get it. So I said, where are all your back papers at? So they took me to a brother house, and he had papers stacked up here. I said, this is the problem, man. So
Yes,
I
sir.
said, we're gonna get these papers, and we sold those papers for 25 cents, dollar. That's when final calls was hard. And we started paying down the debt. And then we paid down that debt with all the paper money. And then Brother Eddie asked Minister Van if he could make me the captain.
Mm,
This was in
mm.
93s or in the 94s or something like that. And I didn't know he was going to do that. But when they ask you to take a post, the minister said, that's a calling that you did. So I became the captain, a student captain in Jacksonville. And man, we took Jacksonville on a new height, man. We took Jacksonville on a new height. Only by the grace and help of Allah. It never was me. It's always Allah. It's never me. It's always Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And I have the honor of interviewing Minister Van tomorrow, inshallah.
Oh man,
So,
bruh, bruh. He the one that gave me my first start as a captain, man. He believed in me. You know, I thank Brother Van, who I love. Uh, he really gave me the opportunity. Him and Brother Sadiq gave me the opportunity to take from what I had in Miami, and I brought it to Jacksonville. And Jacksonville was at least the number 3. I know people probably, you got Brother James down in Tampa, and you know he got something to say, but you know, brother, Jacksonville was always the number 3 city in the southern region. It was always Atlanta, Miami, Jacksonville, or Alabama. Those the 4 powerhouses in the uh, in the
Southern
southern
region.
region. Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir.
excellent. And thank you very much, Brother Captain, for giving us this great history. My next question is, what has been your greatest trial in your tenure, and how have you overcome that trial?
Well, I had a lot of trials, man. I had a lot of trials, man. One was when my son got killed, man. Oh man, when he got killed, you know, when he got killed, uh, that right there, you know, being also, I never would talk about it. You know, it was the same aspect of getting divorced, you know, from my first wife, which was MGT, and it led all the way up to my son getting killed. But those was the trials of my life, and those were the time where, when I was going through the divorce, it was kind of bitter, and I had to leave the mosque. And man, you don't want to never leave the mosque, man. You don't want to never leave the mosque, brother. But sometimes you have to. And we was always taught never talk about anything, you know, with about another person unless the person is there. So I would never say anything about the divorce. But that divorce had my separation, and then when it came down, I had my son. And then as my son got older, I was, you know, trying to get him situated, but he ended up getting shot. And that right there, that was, I'm gonna tell you, man, it was your uncle, Brother Jamil, and Brother Curtis, and I think it was Brother Tada, kind of gave me inspiration, that kept me focused, uh, in the guidance of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Because especially your uncle, Brother Jamil, he called me. I don't know if he remember him and brother. He called me because he was always connected to Brother Curtis, and he said something to me and gave me something to read in the Quran. But you know, I had blood in me, man. I had vengeance in me, you know, for my son. He was only 17, so uh, you know, I had it like that. So that trial in my life, and Brother Tada and Brother Jamil and Brother Curtis, man, he just put it. Brother Curtis put it to me so raw. I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But that was the trial, man, right there, bro. That's why I knew when your brother got shot, and Allah spared his life, I knew what Brother Sharif was going through, man. You don't want to see that in your son, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, the streets ain't this is life right here, man. It can happen to your own family. You got to face it. And you know what? I'm gonna say this, Brother Joshua. When I heard the teachings, some of the teachings of the minister when he dealing with trials, I never blame Allah. I never blame Allah. I couldn't get the answers, but I never blame Allah. And I always listen to what the minister say. If you sincere and you just keep praying, Allah will give you the answer. I still haven't had the correct answer, but I understood why that happened. And you know, I think on that point, I try to get some dynamics in that, and you know, to help me through that,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Sometimes, man, I can say this, man. You know, I break down sometimes, man, because you know that's hard, man. But I live through it. Allah strengthened me through it. Yes, sir.
May Allah bless you to continue to stay strong, Brother Captain,
Yes, sir.
and continue to heal you and your family, sir.
Yes, sir.
What what has been your greatest joy in your tenure?
You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you, man. My greatest joy is to be a helper of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and to get people to join the nation. I just love to see new people. I just, you know, just to be a helper of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Um, man, that's the, you know, and just to take this teachings, and you know, when you get out there and you get somebody in and you say, how many guests you got, man? I got the guests, but how many people that you recruited? You see what I'm saying? That's is the joy. It's just like right now, Brother Nolan, who is our study group coordinator here, I had the opportunity to bring him in and
Mm.
watch him go, and he became he was my squad leader officer, and then he became the minister. Now I'm working with him. He said, nah, brother, I'm gonna always work with you. I said, nah, man, I work for you now. Just to see that joy, man, you know. And you know, that's the joy. And I want to one day soon, you know, I'm not gonna be a captain all the time. You need to revolve, you know, you get to get higher. But I want to give this position to someone. I just want to be able to say, not lose it, or not just give it to someone and say, look, man, this is how you be a student captain. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, you know, you got some captains been around so long, man. You know, Brother Alfred, all the great captains, man. You know, oh man, well, you just want to give it to somebody, man. That's the greatest joy, man.
Praise
That
be
is
to
my
Allah.
joy. Yes, sir.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. And Brother Deshane says, beautiful testimony. Some like Brother Deshane as well.
Praise
And
be to them.
Brother Captain, I have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of this week's and this month's episode. And I want to thank you again for your transparency and great inspiration. If you all would like to be a sponsor, please Cash App the People's Podcast. That's where you make your donation to help us keep going. Is with you all that we are here today. Thank you very much with your help. Okay, so we have my brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He has focused on television and in film. If you need something done, reach out to Street Premier Media Production. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon. Thank you very much, Sister Miriam. My sister Naima, Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Supreme Men's and Boys Urban Wear out of St. Louis, Missouri. I want to thank you, sir. And if you all need some clothes, some drip, I want y'all to reach out to our brother. He's gonna keep you fresh. And Brother Captain, we coming to you because of your hats. So we got to talk
Yes,
about
sir.
the hat.
Well, I got to get in on this thing too, man. I got to bring my donation and get in and pump my hats, man. You see, I got to keep one on. Yes, sir.
Tia Muhammad, Raising Black Millionaires. She teaches economic empowerment and development to young children through the use of flashcards. Thank you very much. Brother Kenneth Muhammad, bow tie maker extraordinaire. If you all need a good bow tie, reach out to Brother Kenneth. Brother Todd X McGraw, Supreme Team Insurance Group. Make sure to reach out to Brother Todd. And also, Brother Captain, I want to thank you all for watching the People's Podcast. I want to make sure I read Brother Chantel, the X and Express. He has a specializes in trucks and refrigeration, and he also hires truck drivers. Thank you very much, Brother Chantel. Brother Jabbar Muhammad, Client First Construction, painting, carpentry, flooring, plumbing, etc., out of the Chicago area and the Memphis, Tennessee area. Please reach out to Brother Jabbar for your businesses. Sister Landra El Muhammad, More Than a Navy Beans. Thank you very much. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Also, brother Captain, we gotta promote your website as well. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Services in Chicago. Please reach out to him. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, abdulsharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both of which are on Amazon. Thank you all very much, and continue to support the People's Podcast.
Man, praise be to Allah. Black business.
Excellent. Yes, sir. Now, Brother Captain, what advice would you give to future husbands?
You know, that's one of the things that I'm learning how to deal with new people in marriage. The minister, he had a series of tapes that was out called Male and Female Relationship, and I used to listen to those tapes all the time, and then I listened to the minister speak about relationship all the time. And the best thing I can always do is say, refer to his guidance in this. And also from my point of getting out of it, in order to have a good, and your father teach on it a lot as well, and a lot of other ministers teach on it. But from my understanding, this is very important. And this comes from the teachings and all of what I get from the ministers that teach in male-female relationship. The most important thing is that you got to set a foundation, and you have to respect each other's thoughts and opinion. That is the basis of a good relationship in marriage. You have to respect each other's thoughts and opinion. When you were able to learn that and stay focused on that, that is the basis of a good friendship and a good relationship in a marriage. Respect each other's thoughts and opinion. And that takes time, you see? So that's what I would say.
Yes, sir. What advice would you, well, how has being a grandfather impacted you?
Man, I tell you, money. You know, I tell you, boy, you know, my daughter Halima, she has, I think I got a 9-year-old, and she just got a new one. And it makes you feel good that you can live on. But, you know, when you the thing of it is, when you're a grandfather, man, the thing is, when you get your grandchildren, is what you start teaching them. You know, the parents don't see it your way, but I get a joy teaching them, and they just be asking questions, just teaching them. Man, you know, I want you to be there's two girls, and one of them is 9 years old, and I said, I want you to be a powerful MGT. I want you to look at these MGT drilling, and I want you to be this. And you know, my daughter, she be like, oh, I said, I want you to study. I want you to read the Quran. Just the joy of teaching them. And they be like, for real? You know, wow. And that's the joy I get as a grandfather, man. You know, hopefully they listen. I tell you, bro.
Yes, sir. Well, let's talk about your hat business. How can we support you, and how can we get it? Because I was actually, you're gonna have some business coming your way. I was talking to my brother-in-law the other day when I was showing my dad that I was going to interview, and I was like, Dad, he got these hats. And I can't wait to, because I haven't been wearing suits, because because of the pandemic like that.
Right.
I can't wait to get some, because we're gonna support him. And when I showed my brother-in-law your Facebook page, he was like, man, look, he got a color for each one. I said, yes, sir. We definitely gonna get it. How can we support you?
Well, you know, for all the brothers, not, you know, for all the FOI brothers, you can always go on my website, or you can email me or call me. You know, I like to give the brothers FOI, because they're my greatest supporters. A lot of good prices and discounts. You know, so my website is the Hat Connection, and it's spelled TheHatConnectiON1 at gmail.com. That's my email. But it's the website is the Hat Connection with an S. That's TheHatConnections.com. So you go in there, you see what you like. You know, a lot of brothers, they like the mothership. had, I got to tell you a quick story on that. And I got to tell you who started me on that. But I've been selling hats for a long time. And, and being in New York, back in the days, man, we used to wear our Panamas, man. We used to go on Pickens Avenue and was a hat store. We used to get our Dobbs and, all the gang members, all the guards, everybody liked to wear Panamas back in the days with our BBD nylons and our Paris nylons, our Panama hats in the summer. And when I got into the nation, Brother Dennis, our former regional Eastern captain, Brother Dennis Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
they had the E team. They just had some hats, man. I said, man, the hats, man. Where you get the Panamas? And Brother Dennis said, yeah, man. We got the Panamas, and I sell the Panamas and stuff, man. All the brothers. Brother Dennis would get it for all the E team, and the minister had one. But a student, supreme captain had. Oh man, they had the Panama. I said, man, your father had one. Everybody had Panama. I said, Brother Dennis, man. He said, brother, I'm gonna give you the connections. He gave me the connections. So I called him and I got in with him. And then everywhere I used to go travel with the minister, that's how I used to be able to travel. I sold hats. I sold the mothership hat, and it was from Brother Dennis. Everywhere. And then the E team started buying hats from me. Brother, you got a hat? I need this side. I used to have the hats, man. And that's ever since then, I started selling hats. And then the companies didn't want to let me, when you're a business and you ain't got no storefront and you just, you trying to work from your home, and they don't want to give you a start. So they put you through all this. You got to have a credit application or with all this stuff. So I got contact with Biltmore, Dobbs, and all these companies, and the Beaver Hat Company. And I just use my wit, and some of them say, man, I want to come and send a sales representative. You got to get past them. Boy, you get past them sales representatives coming to you, man, I ain't got no stuff. Hey man, so I was able to get that. And so I got a whole bunch of merchandise in. And I depend on, a lot of brothers, man. And I'm telling you, brothers from Philadelphia, Brother Najee, Brother Ronald, man, the Philadelphia connection, man, they support, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Brother down in Miami, Brother James, man, he done got so many hats down in Miami. Oh man, the brothers, few brothers support, but Brother James Muhammad, he's in the podcast business as well. He's doing a good job as well. He bought so many hats from me, man. Brother Haki, all the brothers, man. I appreciate your support, man. And hey, man, I can't survive if the brothers don't get nothing. I can't survive. And whatever you see, whatever you like, brothers, if you go to any of them hat stores, Sid and Henry the Hatter, and you see something and whatever price, I'm gonna match the price, man. If I can get anything, I'm gonna match the price. You know what I'm saying? But the hats right now, man, with the coronavirus, they going up on the Panamas, they going up on everything. So that's how I got in the hat business, man. Thank you, Brother Dennis Muhammad, man. Hey, I took it and ran with it, Brother Dennis, man. I love, man. Brother Dennis is a beautiful brother. We call him the minister captain. He started me with this, and he started me with this business.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. What type of music do you listen to, Brother Captain?
Man, I'm hip hop, man. I'm hip hop, man. I'm straight New York, man. I like the New York. I'm Jay-Z, Biggie. I like all of them, man. I like Lil Baby. Lil Baby is hot, man. 2 Chainz. I'm hip hop, man. I might be almost 60, man, but I can't get it out of my blood, man. But I'm old school too now. I'm the Ozzy Brothers.
Okay.
I listen to jazz. I'm a real old school, man. Impressions, Curtis Mayfield. But man, hip hop, man. I'm hip hop, bro. You know what I'm saying? Pop, smoke, all that, man. It's in my blood, man. I grew up with it.
Praise be to Allah. And I can tell the teachings are real through you, sir, because I would have never guessed that you were almost 60, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have never guessed that. Yes, sir.
If I could do what Dr. Eileen said, be more disciplined, man. I love that podcast you had with Dr. Eileen, man. That was one of my best. Dr. Eileen, man, I love that brother, man. You know, that was one of my best. But man, how to eat to live, man, you can't play with it. And I'm not 100% with it, but I got to, because, brother, and I listened to the guy that you had with the prostate cancer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That man, this ain't no joke, man. I need to get checked out, bro. This ain't no joke, man. How to eat to live, man. I need to even be looking younger, but you know, I'm not. I'm playing around with it.
Praise be to Allah. Now, I have
Right.
one more question for you, and I want to thank everybody for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. Um, what would you like your legacy to be, Brother Kevin?
You know, man. Man, that's a good question, man. I just wanted people to know that I was a helper of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You know, that's been in my blood since I was 14. I've been in the nation, I don't know, maybe over close to 40 years. You know, in 1984, I don't know, it's just getting so many years. I've been in the nation so long, and this is my life, man. I don't care, man. My legacy is my life. I don't care about my family or what they think. You know, this is my life, man. So, you know, just know that I try to be a good captain. I'm not perfect. You know, I want people to know that, you know, I try to be a good captain. I try to be respectable. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan taught me a lot on how to be a brother. So before that captain, I just want to be a brother. And I want to see people successful financially. So my legacy is just to show people, you know, one day I'm gonna be rich. One day, maybe I'll bless me. But even if you can't get that, if you could just show people, you know, how to do it, and just, you know, be an example. So that's my legacy, man. You know, that's what I really want, man. You know, soldier for life. Right.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Well, I want to thank you, Brother Captain, for always showing love to me and my family and being a great example. I want to thank you for the sacrifice that you've made and the sacrifice of your family as well. We thank them for their sacrifice as well. And thank you all for watching. And may Allah continue to bless you, sir. And thank you. It's an honor that you would come on the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Like salam.